Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I'm going to show and tell some of the treasure that I bought in France last May. It's mainly paper, photos, books, and some other ephemera. You know what else I bought while I was there? I bought this shopping bag. And I'm going to be giving this shopping bag away. I'm going to be doing a drawing. You can be in this drawing, and it's free, and if you win, I will send you this shopping bag. It's from a supermarket that's called You. That's the name of the shop. It's just a nice cotton bag. And it says Mon sac fait cocorico, which I think means something like, my bag is so proud, it's crowing. It's going cock-a-doodle-doo. Just go with it. This promises to be a lot of video, so please pull up a cup of tea and just enjoy the eye candy. I buy pieces like this partly to go into my personal collection because I cherish old paper and books more than I have the words to say. Partly it's to go in my original artwork, altered books and journal arts and whatnot, but as always, I buy more than I could use in this lifetime, so some of the pieces are going to be for sale. For more information and prices, you can check out the text box below this video, which is where that information is going to be. If I show something that I haven't listed and you can't live without it, send me a DM or an email and we'll see what we can do. If you like vintage books, ephemera, altered books, and journal arts, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure and turn on notifications. And you will have more of them in your life. Let's go look at the good stuff. Let's start with some books. This is an album of big wild animals, and it was to help children learn their ABCs and handwriting. Imagine that, teaching penmanship to young children. Yeah, I'm an old fogey where handwriting's concerned. And this was to help them learn their letters. L for lion, lion. And these animals are drawn in a super stylized way with a nice soft patina to the print, printing color, more of a tint than a bright color. I am going to see if I can make some printable scans of these pages and put them on my website where they will be free. First, I have to make sure that they will fit in my printer, my scanner, and if they do, I will keep you posted about when those go up. These 4 books are done in a style called Cartonnage. Carton means a cardboard or paperboard, and if you see a book that's listed as a vintage book listed as Cartonnage, it means it does have cardboard covers, but it also is usually implies a style with this beautiful workmanship on those cardboard covers. This is all embossed. So much detail. It often also has a decoupaged photo or illustration. This one's from 1852. Here's one with some children playing. It's got a lot of wear to it, which I really like because I think it means that somebody read it a lot and really loved it. It was given as a school prize in geography. This one's very, very pretty. It's pink. Is that mauve? Pink? And again, it's embossed, it's raised. And then this one with these ladies. I have to show you this. It was given as a school gift for écriture. So somebody won a prize for handwriting. See what I'm saying about the handwriting? I'm a crank. 1878. So these books are from the 1850s to 1870s. They are for sale. check out the text box if you're interested to see how much they are and whatnot. Before they go out the door, when they do get sold, I am making printables of these covers. They definitely fit my scanner, so there's no question. They make beautiful journal covers if you like making your own. So I meant to do it today, but I'm running around with my head cut off. So midweek, they will be up on my website. They will be high-res scans, printable versions. They will be free. And I will let you know when those are up in my newsletter. Or just check. A few more books. This one is not as beautiful as the Cartonnage, but it's from 1770. And I have loved books, cherished books, ever since I was a small child. And it doesn't even have plates. I got this book for myself because the idea that I can actually have and cherish this piece that's that old, that someone had and read, is I'm humbled, and it gives me so much joy. I certainly never thought I would have anything like this. And now I have a bunch. These are tiny little notebooks. This one is probably from the 30s. And it's, I just love notebooks. I'm notebook mad. Let's see, this one is a 1933, and it's an agenda, which you can see corresponds to our word agenda, and it is an appointments calendar. And it does have a few entries. So it's like spying on somebody's life from almost 100 years ago. These came in this little box, and it's a set of notebooks. This says notes, and this says Cass. I'm not sure why. Anyway, these are beautiful little blank notebooks with the beautiful work. And the case, which is covered with fleur-de-lis. So a Francophile for who's notebook mad, that's ding, ding, ding. This is really dinged up, speaking of ding-dings, but it's got this lovely tooled work on the leather, pretty end papers, and it is where there's only a few pages that are written in, but they seem to have been doing their accounts. Chemise, those are shirts, 42 cents, centime. Corset, dress, a corsage. And so again, it's like spying a little bit. And it's just a charming little notebook. Look how teensy this is. It does not have the frontispiece, so I don't know when it was published, but my experience is telling me from the illustrations that it's probably the 1840s. And it looks like it's some cautionary tales. This is called the pot of jelly, the pot of jam. And one child is taking some jam and the other one is squealing. Mom. Let's see. Okay, this is the olden days. Le petit mendiant means little beggar. And look, he's just a kid. What is he, 7? That's harsh. I don't know what this story is, but I sure want to know. I haven't read it yet. And there's some ladies having a good gossip. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Notebooks. From absurdly tiny, we're going to absurdly big. This is a ledger, and it is big. It's over a foot this way, and it's about a foot and a half, 2 feet this way. Almost a meter. Okay. It's got these brass fittings on the corners because it was meant to last a long, long time. And I cannot show you the whole book. My tripod would have to go way far to show you that. So let's look at some of the detail. This shows you where it was bought in Paris. The beautiful marbled papers. And then inside it's a ledger. It's from 1890. And as far as I can make out, these are not like this is not like a market item. This is these are legal documents. A mortgage, PR, inventory, and some sales of property and things like this. And this marks off where they were paid. This book is far, far too big and too heavy to post, so I am not selling it, although it's a gorgeous piece. What I am going to be doing is using these pages for collage. And before you scream, someone has already, long before I got here, torn out a lot of the pages. So it's got damage to it. I'm going to use these pages for backgrounds in collage and book altering. I'm also going to be including a couple of these pages in my next round of ephemera boxes. I make French ephemera boxes with paper and other stuff. And if you want one of those, they'll have a couple of these oversized ledger papers. I actually brought this monster home in a suitcase, and it weighs about 30 pounds. My husband was not amused. He didn't quite get it. But I bet you do. Here is something that is paper adjacent. Toile means a kind of a tissue, a fabric. And so these are gommé, means gummed. So it's fabric and paper that have a glue stuff on the background. And you know what these are? These are linen book repair tape. If you were repairing a spine or something was bust in your book, you could get that wet and then use this linen tape in the spine to repair it. I am not going to be using this for book repairs. Basically, a lot of they're kind of stuck anyway. But I truly would not want to trust a book repair to something precious to me, to book tape that is 120 years old. But I make handmade books. I couldn't just leave them there. Let's see. Inside the box were some more. Let's see. Coal is glue. So there's this little bag of, I guess these are for photographs. And there's glue on the background. So you could put those in your books. And these are some little tickets that I guess you would use for labeling stuff. Maybe your books, I don't know. But I just think that's so, as a bit of book ephemera stuff. I love those. I'm going to be keeping some. I'm also putting one of these in each of the new ephemera boxes. Again, I don't think they work, but if you love making handmade books, they will be a nice little addition to your stuff. Let's see. Same thing here. This is a lot. of little, let's take this up, little notebook covers. I guess for school notebooks. And see, got tables here, addition, subtraction, and then on the back is this crazy ad. And again, I'm going to be putting one of these in the new ephemera boxes. I'm sure you can think of something to do with them. This is, back in the day, there was something called cigarette cards. And when your dad or your parents or uncle or something bought a packet of cigarettes, these are players, they would come with a card inside of each one, and you were encouraged to collect them and then buy an album. And I am in love with these because they're old movie stars from the 1930s. Let's see, this is Betty Davis, Joan Crawford, Gary Cooper, Marlene Dietrich. I am a big old movie fan, sort of obsessed. And so to find this collection of old movie stars, again, just makes me very happy. Ralph Lynn, I have never heard of. But I've seen a lot of these. These are just some wax seals. They must have been on something pretty darn big. The friend that collected these for me just had them cut out like this. And I will be adding these to some altered books soon. Because I'm wax seal mad. Those are gorgeous. Recently, I got a monster lot of tiny photographs. These are called carte de visite, or CDV. CDV. A carte de visite would have been a stylized portrait that you had taken of yourself. These are from around the 1880s-ish. He's actually rolling a hoop in a sailor costume. I have that outfit. You would have had these done. Having a photograph taken at this time was, you would have worn your Sunday best, and it would have been a very special thing. And they were carte de visite because they're small, and if you went to call on somebody to visit them, you would give them one of these. You know, like a casual, friendly version of a business card. I use these a lot. I use them in altered books, for tags, in pockets, as part of collage, and in journal arts. I also have, if you are interested in one of the ephemera boxes, they have some of these in there as well. So there's 4 carte de visite in an ephemera box. I'm sorry to say I am not making scans of these because for some reason they don't really reproduce with a lot of oomph. I've tried and tried, and they just are a little bit disappointing when I've tried to make copies. But they will be coming to an altered book near you soon. If you think that I came back with some religious ephemera, you are right. I got quite a few of these smaller rosaries. They're smaller, but they are beautiful pieces. They are from around the 1900s to 19-teens. Most of them. Could be some from the 1930s. Oh, that's nice. That's mother of pearl. I am not Catholic. I think that these can be beautiful objects of devotion. For me, they are beautiful pieces of French antiques. And I do cherish them, but not in that way myself. There are, in the next round of ephemera boxes, there is one of these smaller rosaries as part of the ephemera aspect as opposed to the paper aspect. I also have this piece. It's for sale. It's not going to be in a box. It's a huge, huge piece. It's one of the biggest rosaries that I've ever seen. And it's got this, let's see, linking bead here, the two-tone, a separate metal, mother of pearl, and then these are hand-cut mother of pearl beads. It's probably from the 1880s. And a piece this heavy, this big, and this pretty probably would have meant that it was for, I meant to go back up again, a wedding. And this would have been carried with the bouquet by the bride. I have quite a few other larger, fine rosaries for sale that are antiques. I'm not going to show them now. This is not that video. But if you are curious, just drop me a line and I can send you some photos. These guys are called protection pins. And back in the day, somebody would have collected a medal, probably just one at a time. They would have been expensive and a treat. And as you got another medal, you would add it to this pin. Then the pin would go inside your coat jacket, or maybe the waistband of a skirt or something, and it would have been to protect you. I really like how some of these are very worn, meaning that someone clearly loved them and used them. This medal is actually a relic of Saint Rita. This one is mine, and it's 19th century, and I am curious, and I cherish these because these were part of somebody's story and their faith, which always has an element of mystery in it. So this one's mine, and these are for sale. Just check out the text box. Another piece that I'm keeping is this. This would have been used as a traveling shrine. It's very light, and you could have taken it on pilgrimage. Let's see. And when you open it up, it is a triptych. And inside is Saint Therese. It's a triptych, and it's tiny. And it's got this carving that looks like an old church. I collect these, but they are very hard to find. So when I get one, I hang on to it. This is also pretty rare, but I had never seen one until I got this in May. It's called a bonnet badge. Back in the day, it's St. Christopher, clearly. It's got red enamel. And you see these two holes? You would have put this on your dashboard of your carriage or in later years on your car. And apparently people collect these. Vintage antique car collectors collect antique bonnet badges for their dashboards. I am probably going to use mine in making a piece of assemblage. I make pocket shrines out of Altoid tins and other vintage tins. think that would look really good there. And then inside will be a holy card, some encaustic work, and one of these little tiny statues. Not sure when those will be done. It could be November, but I will keep you posted when those go up. This is also a little, would have been for making your devotions if you were traveling, because it's also very light. And it's the beautiful lady from the grotto at Lourdes. And again, I think this will make a nice addition to a piece of assemblage. Some mixed media there. Oh, there's this. Haha. I had to look this up. If you know what it is, then kudos. I had to look it up. It's called a croix de berceau, and that means it's a crib cross. If you had a baby, let's see, I think it's made out of celluloid. You would hang this over the crib for protection. In my opinion, it looks like a choking risk. But, you know, it was another century. Speaking of wax seals, as we were a moment ago, this is an indenture from 1737. This is not French. I got this here in Britain from a wonderful woman who sells old paper and stuff at Gleaned and Gathered. Her name is Lorraine and goes by Lottie. I'm going to link to her Instagram feed in the text box below, because even though she's in Britain, her prices are really good. Her shipping is really good. And even if you live in another country, you might want to have a look at what she's got to offer. This is a handwritten indenture. It's a legal document. And this whole thing would have been written by hand. And it's selling, no, it's marriage, to have and to hold. Okay, so this is a marriage license between Elizabeth White, and she has signed and stamped there, and William Hetherington, and he has stamped there. This is on vellum. It is not on paper. It is unbelievably big. I mean, I can't believe a marriage license would have been the size of a small car, but that it was. I forgot I have another bonnet badge. It's a lot smaller, but it's also St. Christopher and enamel, and again, it's going in a piece of assemblage. This is a bag of holy cards and other cards. You know what? I haven't even unpacked this. Truly. I'm just going to see what's in here. I mean, I did pack it. I packed it in May, but I haven't unpacked it since then. Got some little tags. See, these would have been kind of similar to the cigarette cards. They might have come in, but they would have come in cocoa. Chocolate tins. Ooh, magpie. P. vulgaire. Okay, so that's just a bunch of selection of little cards. Those will go in some altered books. Ooh, another little notebook. I love animal cards and birds and whatnot. Let's see. And most of these, the rest of these, are holy cards. This is a very, very pretty lot. These are going to be from the late 1800s and the early 1900s, 1912. And these are they're printed like a lithograph. Some of them have a pattern to the paper that feels like linen. Some of them are engravings. Oh, that's nice. And again, when I see this, what I see is a beautiful, tiny little work of art and a story. This is really nice. It's a guardian angel. It's a rare early color piece. I think it's called a chromolithograph. This one's from 1898. Let's see. Oh, wow, she's lovely. I am going to be using some of these holy cards in art journals. 1891. There are 5 cards of these cards in the new Ephemera boxes. Oh, she's beautiful. This one is actually on vellum, and I like this. It's a nicer card because you can see it's got the scalloped edges. That would have taken more work. Some angels. And here are some that are especially nice. See, this one is on celluloid. So these are hand-painted and handwritten on celluloid, which means they're probably going to be from around 19-teens. This one's on vellum, and again, you've got the scalloped edges. 1905. Look at that. This has actually got an embroidered bird. It's very 3D. An embroidered bird and flowers. I'm keeping that. This one, again on vellum, has a teeny tiny little ribbon with a medal. I have on my website free printable versions of some holy cards. Not this lot, it's an older lot, but very much in the same style. So if you would like to print those up and use them in your own journals, there's a link to that on my website in the text box below this video. Also on my website, I have free printable versions of these holy cards. These cards are called Dentel, which is the French word for lace, because they have paper lace borders. And again, these black and white engravings. These often would have been given for if you were having if your child was having his first communion, you might have a bunch of these printed up and give them away to guests. Let's see, this one's from 1883. These do tend to be from the 1870s to 1880s. See, oh, I like this one. It's got a little bit of, that happens. These fingernails hate these. But if you open up, there's actually a little card inside. So I'll be putting this in an altered book so that it's got some dimension to it. Let's see, is this one? Yeah, this is another one. It's got the Sacred Heart, and then you can open it up, and you've got 2 images there. These are in color. Look at that lace work. I'm showing these because, again, color work at this time in a card like this, these are hard to find. And I'm just humbled and happy to have found these. And the lace is not as exciting, but the quality of the The chromolithograph is extraordinary. And these also have some very pretty lace. So most of these are mine for my private collection and to use in my original artwork. I do have 3 lots with 12 cards each. And those 3 lots are the ones I can bear to part with, and those are available for sale. Otherwise, as I said, you can get some free printable versions on my website. You know where the link is. This is a different version of a holy card. They're called mourning cards. They would have been to honor someone who had died in your family. And if that happened, then your family was in mourning, and that would be indicated by these. Your stationery you'd be wearing black. If you were a gentleman, you'd be wearing a black ribbon on your jacket, and you would have a black border around your stationery and around these cards. It's always very poignant, even from 110 years on, when you see one of someone very young. And there will be a mourning card in the next lot of ephemera boxes. Finally, almost finally, I collect First Communion photos. I just love the costumes, the clothing that the children wore. She's got beautiful white gloves. She's holding one of those beautiful mother of pearl rosaries, and her dress is exquisite. I have a lot of these. Now, finally, I have booklets. I guess they're booklets. These are 2 small ones. This is on vellum, and it is from 1902. It's got hand-painted ladybirds. It's for Madame Verlet, and it's a menu for First Communion for her son, Henri Verlet. And they had potage bisque escrevisse, which would have been shrimp, basically a shrimp bisque, and so on and so on. And then you have your dessert varié, a bunch of desserts. You could choose which one you want, wine and liqueur. I also collect old menus. Let's see. This one just breaks my heart. It's so charming. And, you know, it's got the detail, the embossing. And I am going to be altering this and putting it in the pocket of an altered book. So I'll leave this the way it is, and then I might add some wings, or, I don't know, let's see, do I have any wings? Yeah, there we go. You know, something like that. Not to obscure it, but to just add some interest. So that's one I'm keeping. This is one of the best ones I've ever found, and I'm always looking for booklets. Such as this. I also got this from Lorraine at Gleaned and Gathered. And check out the link to her if you'd like to see some of her paper offerings. It's in English, but it's in extraordinary shape. You have your flowers on the border. Those are raised. And again, I am going to be adding some alteration here. Don't know what. I'm just pulling that out of my collage box. So I'll be altering this little book. But I will be leaving this, because this is the centerpiece, which makes me gasp every time I look at it. And when I alter this, I'll make some process videos to show how that comes along, which is what I also did with this booklet from earlier, what was it, last year? Where I took a booklet and then I altered it page by page by page and made videos here showing how they got made. So I'm going to be doing that, maybe soon, maybe next week. And finally, there's this one. I have never seen this before, and I collect booklets. It seems to be handmade. And it is in preparation for my first communion. It's all handwritten. I suspect these might have come from a pattern. I don't know. But this is hand drawn and painted, and then there's a teeny tiny little baby photograph. And this is the things that you have to learn to do your catechism for your communion. And this, look at this. Over here, she had to do a certain amount of Ave Marias and a certain amount of sacrifices. I don't know what a sacrifice would be. Catholic friends, you want to help me out in the comments? I'm assuming it's where she gave something up as you might for Lent or did something nice for someone else. And she's got this little tally of how many she's done week by week. And I just cherish this book. Again, it's made by hand. It's part of somebody's story. And it's just one of a kind. That's it. I have a few bibs and bobs to cover. If you would like to be in the drawing for this shopping bag I'm giving away next Friday, all you got to do is leave me a comment or a question in the comment section below this video. If you do that, I'm going to draw a name from whoever's left a comment at random this coming Friday. That is the 23rd of August, 2024. And yes, it will go worldwide, so don't worry about that. If you would like to have a chance to also win some vintage paper, I've put together a vintage paper miscellaneous pack, and I'm also doing the drawing for that on Friday. You can be in that drawing by signing up for my new newsletter. And the link to that is in the text box below this video. So run like a bunny and do that, and you'll be in the drawing for some vintage paper. If you would like some free printable versions of vintage paper, there's also some links there, as well as where you can find out more information about the ephemera, French ephemera boxes. That's it. Join me in a few days. I'm going to have another paste paper video, how to use paste paper in your altered books. Until then, happy making.